Hey, welcome back to TokuTalkers. Today we're talking GoZyuger Episode 4, Party Time Dreaming Old Man. This
Mm,
was an interesting episode. And of course, like, I'm Buster, Wyatt's here.
big thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah, is that your review of the episode?
Well, that's a review of me. That's my review of me.
No,
My
that's
review of the
fair.
episode is also a big thumbs up. So why don't you continue?
Yeah. Cause this is we've had focuses on characters before in GoZyuger, but this
Mm,
is I'd argue the first true this is focusing on honing in on a
yes.
specific character. And that's Kinjiro or Joji, aka
Mm,
GoZyuEagle. I think we're just gonna call him Kinjiro because that's his marketed
that's yeah.
name.
Hmm.
Uh that's the name he made up because well, he's an old man and he has to change his name as a youth to make sure
Yeah.
yeah.
The others don't know. Yeah. Until this point, Tono was sort of like the main focus of the episodes, like the past three episodes, and there was like subplots with like the yellow or blue ranger. Um, but it yeah really wasn't until this one that they just straight up gave us like bam, we're focusing on the Green Ranger here. uh I would say probably my favorite episode so far. Like there's some things I like about previous episodes more, but you just really can't beat a good like strong emotional story, even if it's like a little bit more formulaic than
Yeah,
like the other episodes. It's still just like, hey, the strength of the writing in the episode I think elevates it. So yeah, probably, that's first impressions. Probably my favorite episode so far. What do you think, Buster?
Uh, I'm a bit mixed on it. Like, I still think it's
Mm-hmm.
a good episode. It just compared to the others, I just feel like this is more of a standard Sentai
Yeah,
episode.
for
But
sure.
it's still again, it's still really good. It still goes Uger. It still has a lot of fun energy to it. It's the story they tell with Kinjiro learning to loosen up and
Mm-hmm.
truly enjoy his second youth. That was really
Yes.
good. I
Mm-hmm.
just I think the formula is what really kicked it, just where it's it just kind of felt like a more typical Sentai episode.
Oh yeah, that's
Uh,
the thing. Like I think those elements, the like that emotional core, is what I felt like was maybe a little bit missing from the previous episodes. But then
yeah,
this episode is missing the like surprise and fun and innovativeness of those previous episodes. So I hope they can split the difference eventually, because I really like the format of like, oh, they interact with the villain or the monster of the week, the four fighting with him, and they have like a little game that they play. Like I thought that was a good format. This was a little bit more just like throwback to Boom Boonger. Oh, we fight the bad guy and then we fight him for half the episode. Like
yeah,
that's it. We encounter him once and then we just fight with him. And there were really good things about that encounter, but it didn't feel as
fresh.
like, yeah, it didn't feel as fresh, and it didn't, and like some things about it felt like a little bit arbitrary. Like this is the first time I felt like the robot fight was just like completely like, whatever.
Yeah,
Who
same. I mean, granted,
cares?
the choreography in the fight where it's
It's
they all
good.
switching between that was really fun.
Hmm.
I think if they lean into that for future robot fights, that could be really we could get some really all timer robo fights in
Yeah.
the show, either comedically or just choreography wise. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah. Also, I do want to mention we do kind of get our first major loss of the Universe Warrior War.
Hmm.
We're just kind of Ryusou Red, just some random ass lawyer. Like we
Yeah.
see Tokonatsu, aka Don Momotaro, just beat him.
Hmm.
Uh, which yeah.
Then he has the Time Ranger. He has like the
Yeah, the
Time
Time
Red,
Ranger thing
like,
was cute.
was,
Uh,
yeah, he turns him into the little Sofubi toy.
yeah,
Big thumbs up there. Yeah.
yeah.
I have not seen all of Time Ranger. This is just nostalgia from Power Rangers Time Force that I'm like, oh yeah, there you
The
go.
thing, the thing.
It's that thing I know.
Yeah,
But I did want to say that this is the first episode where it really feels like they are like laying some pretty good hints for all the characters, not just like we've gotten like a little bit for Tono, and then this episode gave us some like fascinating peeks into like the Yellow Ranger, with him having some, he has a weird relationship with his father apparently,
yeah. Like
and
everyone's
then
got a strange family in this
yeah,
show.
and then like, yeah, the black or the pink whatever black unicorn is like she has something going on with her sister. You know, she's gone
Yeah.
missing or has passed away or something like that. And you know, we'll learn more about that in the next episode. But like, just some like nice tantalizing crumbs for the other characters, while it's mostly focused on the Green Ranger and sort of like going through his like introductory story. Which again, like I feel like it's the strongest one that they've done so far
Yeah,
for
it's a
like
good mix of pathos and like actual like comedic insanity, I'd
yeah.
argue.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like nobody expected. I mean, like granted, like maybe some people could suss it out from like the way like the he was posed in the material, but like nobody could expected that Green, like this young guy, was secretly an old man.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that they did the joke well, that it's like, oh, he's an old man, he wants to be young, and he wants to be a party people. And then they do like they kind of like twist the expectation by it having like he still is deep down like he has that lifetime of experience, so he has a hard time adjusting and trying to be a party
yeah,
guy. But also when he rejects it and says like, no, I don't want to be that, you know, I'm just want to be back to the way that I am, like being told like that his dream is valid and like he wants it because he wanted it, you know, by Tono. Like that, like that's enough, not for any other person but himself. Like he wanted to become a young person and have a second youth and whatever. Like that's a very touching scene.
yeah.
And it comes after like he had like a big fight with his grandson. Um, and then like yeah, I just felt like that they resolved that very well. It was very touching, uh, like resolution and everything. Again, it kind of reminded me of the birthday episode of Don Brothers. Another Don Brothers reference. Take a drink. Uh,
Good, 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 good.
where that was the first time that show like really like hit me
Oh yeah, the Subasa one.
emotionally.
Yeah,
Yes. 'Cause like until that point, it was just like manic insanity and very funny and engaging. But that was the first time I was like, oh my god, this can make me like feel emotions.
yeah.
And boy, howdy, with the show
And
continue
that
to
was
do
only the
that as it
beginning. That
goes.
was only the
Yeah.
beginning.
So,
But like, yeah, yeah, like this is a good setup for like kind of what we can expect from the emotional core of GoZyuger.
mhm.
I'd say. Um, and also I just want to mention everyone, all of the Rangers so far except Red has had a musical number. Like,
That's true.
not a character song because we get character song albums at the end of the show, but like a just a straight up here's a song I sing. We got Yellow had the
Mm,
Tegasaur song, Blue
hmm
has of course his idol song, and then Green had his party people folk song.
That's that really made me laugh because, like, yeah, it becomes like a you know like an adore whatever like one of those like festival songs, and it's just
Yeah.
like a very it's an easy joke to be like, oh, he's an old man, so he has like a very folksy you know, idea of what a party is. But it was just also like so charming. One, because those that it rocks, and
Yeah.
two, the like just everybody getting into it is just very good. Um,
Yeah, again, it follows that like thing we mentioned I think in episode 2 where it's like yes, that yes and where it's like it's funnier to say
yes,
yes than no. Uh
absolutely. Uh, and speaking of that, I feel like you know, I do like the reoccurring like weird side villain stuff where it's like you know you have like the bridal group, and then they have like their little minions, and then there's always like a minion that like looks exactly the same as all the other ones but has a different personality. Like I like that they've kept that as like a running joke every episode. So you
yeah,
have
that's
like
a good gag.
a brother and sister. It's just like funny because it's very economical. They just have to give them different voices and different personalities, but use the exact same suit for those characters.
Yeah.
It's very charming. But yeah, I like the little glimpses that we get into their life. You know, just like hanging out again, like like I feel like that's a good, not just Don Brothers, but like Boom Boom I feel like that did that very well with the little motorbike guys. I can't remember their name. Sorry.
Like I think they're called the Goon Squad, but it's just like kind of an
Yeah,
unfortunate name these days, but it is what it is.
that's what they're up to. But yeah, that I really like. I enjoy that, even if it was a minor part of the episode. It
Yeah.
still just like adds a little splash of flavor to it.
Mm. But yeah, I'd overall say this is a good GoZyuger. Not, it
Hmm.
didn't really hook me as the other
Yep.
episodes but just because it's like, well, like I guess I've learned over the years I'm very much into the manic pacing of like whenever a
Yeah, I can
show
see
or
that.
new toku starts, where it's like they're introducing all the toys, they're introducing all the themes. Like the slower pacing I do like. It's just like something about the faster pacing at the beginning just really like
Yeah.
speaks to me. Um,
Beginnings of stories are very exciting. So it is
yeah.
like, and that's the purpose, that's why like you get very invested in it. So especially, I feel that way with Toku, especially Sentai, because it's a lot more fast paced and manic in general compared to
Mhm.
Kamen Rider. But yeah, like those beginning moments of like learning about the world and learning about the characters and everything, like are always going to be like the most engaging and the most precious. I still think that we're in the beginning of it because the whole team isn't together yet.
Yeah,
And we're
true.
still like
It's just like
learning.
we're getting more into like the natural like okay, there's
Yeah,
less
the
to
flow.
introduce.
Yeah, it's becoming a little bit set in its ways. Just like a few episodes, which just seems that sounds very negative, but I don't mean that. It's a neutral statement
Yeah, it's a
when I
neutral
say
statement.
that. Yeah, it's just like it could be good or could be bad.
Yeah.
Like if it feels like, oh, this is a missed opportunity, we'll point it out. But
Yeah.
so far, like I feel that my enjoyment in the show has only gone up. Um, I would say like episode 2 was a peak, and then like this, I feel like again is like a peak, but I
Yeah.
also do agree with you that I think that they should be able to capture that energy from the previous episodes while still integrating like these more like
Yeah,
story
again,
driven
it's
plots.
well, yeah, we're getting more into like the flow of the show where it's like, okay, we're introducing all these elements and they're gonna coalesce later in the show. It's also just kind of like I'm so used to like binging like Toku all at once recently that
Yeah,
it's just like getting a week by week like is kind of like a bit it's a different experience. Like where it's like I'm not looking at these shows as a whole just yet. I'm looking at them like episode by episode, and that's like
yeah,
I have to adjust my expectations accordingly. Um,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that's going
That'll
to
do it.
do it. Yeah. Wyatt, plug your stuff.
Uh, Go on over to my YouTube channel. It's Only Magic. If you like those videos, if you like cartoon buffoons and you like the videos, go on over to my Patreon, also called It's Only Magic. For just $3, you get those cartoon buffoons episodes a week early. And for just $1, if you only got $1, you get Wow Cool Robot, which is me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence. It's a good time. We recorded a bunch more episodes just recently, and I'm going to be putting them up this week. So check it out.
Exciting.
Uh, Other than that, yeah, I would just follow me on Bluesky and Twitter, Waz Ranger WAZP Ranger, mostly student for consciousness stuff, but I do post about videos or podcasts that I'm working on. So be updated. Check that out.
And
Buster, how about
RPG
you?
Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I started that again. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love those edits so much.
yeah.
It was so good. But anyway, I'm Buster. You can find my YouTube channel at the Buster Corp. I talk about Toku and too many other things to count on that channel. New videos around not every week, but like every like how do I put it? Like every like close to a week.
Yeah.
But like also, but if you like this podcast, hey, go and check out the other podcast we do over at Modular Media. We have other episodes of TokuTalkers where we've been talking all about GoZyuger. We have Analytical Fanboys. We just discussed Blood Blockade Battlefront Season 1.
Cool.
Next month, we're doing the Comic Book Kingdom Come. Uh,
Hmm.
and then we also have just our weekly Shoot the Ship podcast, Modular Components, and we might have a special guest on soon, so
Ooh.
stay tuned. But yeah, that will do it for this Toku Talkers. See you next week for Go Zooger episode 5.